I'm currently with Jean Messia, who is a senior political advisor for Marine Le Pen and the coordinator for the presidential project here in France for 2017. Monsieur Messia, bonjour.
Bonjour. It's Messia, but
Messia.
Messiah, it's a little pretentious.
Messia, you have a different background because you're born in Egypt, actually. You came here at 8 years old. You didn't even speak French when you arrived in France. And today here you are, one of the most senior strategists for the Front National. Can you explain us how that could happen?
Well, I arrived, in fact, when I was 8 years old, yes. And progressively, I became part of the French nation. I was assimilated because at that time the immigration came in France at a very low rate. It was mainly working immigration, not population immigration or family immigration as we witnessed in the 80s. And the conditions were there to assimilate quickly to the French culture, to the French identity. And I became French. I got the citizenship when I was 20 years old. And now I am completely French. And because France is quite a big deal for me, I decided to join the campaign of Marine Le Pen because she is the only one that hold the same pictures, the same idea of France as the one I have for a long time now.
So you're a true believer that multiculturalism doesn't work. You do believe in assimilation, and that's what you did personally, and that's what you would like to see for newcoming immigrants here in France.
Exactly. We must not make a mixing between pluriracial and multiculturalism. France has always been multicolored. I mean, you can be black, you can be like me, you can be white, you can exactly. But in one single culture nation, it is not a matter of race. It's a matter of unicultural. We are a plural racial country, but unicultural country. And this is the condition of a nation living in peace, because we believe that a multicultural society is also a multi-conflictual society. And that is exactly what is happening in the United States, for example. In all the society where you have multiculturalism, you have, deep internal wars, small wars between communities, or at least separation between communities, and from time to time, some skirmishes between the communities.
Talking about the United States, a lot of people are dragging a lot of parallels between Marine Le Pen and Donald Trump. Do you see the links in terms of free trade or in terms of the way they want to behave vis-a-vis the immigrants? Do you see a link between Donald Trump's success as the president of the United States and Marine Le Pen's campaign currently?
Of course, we have some common points. But when we are talking about patriotism, it is linked with every nation. So we are not in some globalized world where everything must melt in a huge magma, like in a volcano. So the patriotism takes many forms. It depends on where you are. So in France, we have common points with the project of Donald Trump, but we are still in France. And as General de Gaulle once said, there is no policy without geography. So in the United States, they have their patriotism. It's a seed that is planted in a particular ground in the United States regarding the cultural specificity of the American society. And of course, ourselves is the same thing. We do have common point, for example, against the massive immigration. We are also for the coming back of the border. We are also have a common point on the belief of the strength of political voluntarism, which is above all the economic and financial logics. This is our main common points with this program, yes.
How do you react when people call you extreme right, racist, Islamophobic? Like, how do you react at Le Front National when people call you those names?
As Talleyrand, this French foreign minister, once said, what is excessive is non-significant. We believe we are in a transitory phase. We have one paradigm which is now declining, that had started in the early 80s around the borderless economy, around the globalization of finance, around also the massive immigration. The two countries that opened this phase were the United Kingdom of Margaret Thatcher and the United States of Ronald Reagan, which opened this new paradigm. And what is funny is the same two countries 40 years later are closing this parenthesis with the election of Donald Trump in the United States and the Brexit in UK. So we now are starting a new phase of the world, a new paradigm, a new model around the border, around the political voluntarism, around the identities of the nations, and it is start to change. So Marine Le Pen and the political project of Marine Le Pen is the only one to be in the wind of history. Emmanuel Macron is a man from the past. He is a man who wants to deepen the past logic of the massive immigration, of the borderless economy, of the impotence of the political voluntarism. This is in the 80s. Now the globalization is changed. There is a new table of the globalized world around which is sit already Donald Trump, is sit Theresa May, is sit Modi, the Indian leader, Chinese, Putin. So the French seat is now empty. We are voting for the one who will be seated in this new table of globalization, and we do hope it will be Marine Le Pen.
But it's not going to be obvious, because yesterday I was talking to our viewers about the media bias. The media in French here, if we think in America there is a bias, it's 10 times worse probably. I didn't find one single paper without one article that was not negative against the Front National or very positive in favor of Emmanuel Macron. How could you win an election when you have all the media against you?
Because, you know, we believe that we are the only ones who believe that the French people is not as stupid as the media consider him.
Because you saw the same thing as me. You saw that the media
yeah, exactly.
is
But you know
unanimous.
what you are saying did not prevented the French people to vote for us in the first round, and it was exactly the same propaganda. Of course, we are a step above now because we are very close to the power. So the propaganda is becoming more massive and more and worse. But we do think that you know, there is a fracture between the French people and the elites. And we have been saying that for years now. And I think that when all the medias and all the system is coalesced together to oust Marine Le Pen from this election, this is the reason for which, on the contrary, the people will have an opposite reaction. And could also vote for Marine Le Pen because, you know, there was a poll made a couple of months ago saying that the media power in France is a power the most hated in all the professions. The journalists are the people who are the most hated, not you, of course.
No. We saw the exact same thing in the United States during the last election campaign. Already we saw that the Front National did reach last Sunday its highest score historically, 22%. And you know, whatever happens, 30, 40 or 50% in 2 weeks or less than 2 weeks is going to be anyway a huge victory for you, no matter if Marine Le Pen becomes the next president or not. Can you say that, or is it too early to say that for you? But do you realize that you're now a real party or a big party? You're not in the margin anymore?
It is obviously a great victory at this step. Let me add something about your last question. You know, all the owners of the big medias in France are close friends to Emmanuel Macron, whether it is written press or TV press. So, of course, and all those constitute the system. They are close friends. They have shared interest, financial also. So the medias here are a prolongation of interest, of mutual interests. So it's no surprise that all the medias are supporting, against us and supporting Emmanuel Macron.
Jean Messia, thank you very much. Merci beaucoup for this interview.
Thank you very much.
Good luck.
Thank you.